Uh, Hi everyone, I'm Zeiss, and on this channel I turn you into an RPG master. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure to smash this subscribe button and keep in touch. Now, in this video, hopefully it's not too very long, I would like to speak a little bit about the builds I managed to create during the Honor the Hunt League. Some of my achievements you can see here, right above me. This is data basically from a Python script that I wrote. It's pulling out data from the Path of Exile 2 website, so it updates automatically. I can't change it. It is what it is. I use it usually during live streams to, I don't know, get an idea how other players are progressing. It's nothing else, for me at least. So I would like to begin with the Blood Mage here, which died off stream, unfortunately, while I was testing some stuff. I also had a Tactician. It also died. I didn't like it much anyway. Although I was heavily investing in defenses, it was one shot by a boss which was possessed by a Snare Spirit. Those are really strong. I knew that those were really strong, but I went in there anyway. And I don't actually regret it, because it had the ridiculous gear and it was not strong enough with very, very good gear that I highly doubt that even the softcore traders even have. But anyway, let's move on to this character. It's basically centered around Bone Storm. Bone Storm is my favorite skill in this game. Unfortunately, I don't think it performs that very well. Maybe it will be better on the Lich with physical and chaos and poisoning. The bleed, physical plus maybe elemental blood mage didn't. I don't know. I didn't like it that much, especially having in mind this one is fucking insane. It could be better, of course. It could be better. But this 101% critical hit chance for spells, bro, that's no joke. Tier 3 cast speed, and anyway, you know, it's solo league, you're probably not gonna get the most insane stuff. But with this crazy wand, with this unique ring, which is actually very tough to get on solo, with that kind of amulet, unfortunately it didn't roll life, so I can use blood magic, because then the life costs become ridiculous, like double the costs of skills. It's nearly impossible to cast anything if you have like +2 skills too much. And also something that I'm pretty sure not many have seen ever while they're playing. That's a double increased effect of small nodes and notable jewels. So offense-wise, this character is no joke. And let's see what it could actually do damage-wise, because I don't think that's good enough. Okay, let's see. So, hold on. Our Bone Storm, after all the buffs, can do a little over 250,000 damage. And let me tell you that this is not enough for higher difficulty bosses. It's actually quite a joke. And I hope to see in future patches this skill being significantly buffed, because building around it, it has really, really high requirements, and for what you're getting at the end, I think it's a complete joke. I don't know, next league maybe I will try it on the Lich, because like I said, I'm thinking that physical and poison, especially with these nodes, and for example these nodes here, for the extra damage, and maybe some others for chaos damage, like these two, neglecting some of the defenses could make a very powerful physical and chaos poison Lich with Bone Storm. That's just an idea, maybe for the next league. Depends on what drops, what is being lottery crafted, and so on. I'm using the skeletons to tank for me, because they have shields, and also for the offering to increase my damage. Sometimes also the this thing, profane ritual, right? For the charges, because the bone storm explosions, like these things. Unfortunately, I've been trying for nearly 5 months to craft a good scepter with more spirit and like strength, intelligence, mana regen, or if with blood magic, no mana regen, but I don't know, plus to minion skills, more spirit and stuff like that, to be able to use sacrifice and cast on minion death to do the profane ritual for me. So I do the bone storm explosions more frequently, but this didn't happen. So maybe that's a side project for some other time. I don't know. We'll see. So basically, this could be a really good boss killer eventually if they buff Bone Storm, because, like I've shown you here, it's not that good enough. I don't know. It can double the damage with the Offering and Sigil, this one, but I don't think that's good enough. I don't really think that's good enough. Anyway, so what else I'm using? Detonate Death together with Bone Cage to clear maps. Basically, you Bone Cage, and when something dies, you detonate. Use Detonate Death. There's another way to use Detonate Death with poison and physical, right? And +1 poison and also Bursting Plague. But right now I'm using it with fire, bone shrapnel, which is really good when you pin enemies with Bone Cage. Anyway, link in the description will be provided to PoE 2 Ninja, where you can check the character in detail if that's something which is interesting to you. I won't go into much detail, but basically that's how I'm playing it. Every now and then I could use the Flame Wall and Bone Storm through it, or if there are like ways, too many corpses, I could use Unearth to block enemies away, or Unearth corpses, so I can increase my damage because of the scepter. While Bone Storm is one of my favorite skills, like I already mentioned, I don't think this build is good enough based on what I managed to find this league and what I managed to craft. Especially having in mind this amulet, which is not even finished yet, the prefixes suck, and it's not even corrupted. It cost me over 40 anu and over 50 chaos, and a bunch of omens, which are extremely hard to get on this mode. So I wouldn't recommend Blood Mage for a league starter at all. That's why I started with this character. Let's move on to the other ones, and I'll explain also what I'm using them for. Here I have Ritualist, because, come on, it's one of the new ascendancies on the new classes, the Huntress, and I definitely wanted to try it, especially after reading those ridiculous things like +1 to ring slot, and increased bonuses gained from equipped rings and amulets, and this being able to hurt yourself, basically, to do some for the blood magic, to get a modifier that usually the rare monsters get. The problem with this character is one of the major problems is because it's evasion, it's a lottery gameplay style. Like, are they gonna one-shot me now, or they're not gonna one-shot me now? Because using evasion usually means you have to do some kind of hybrid build, which doesn't allow for scaling the other types of defenses that much. So as you can see, my character here, I'll talk about this bullshit later. My character here has a not that good helmet, but it's still not bad, 367. It could be about 200 more, but like in top of the top kind of Camage and Tiara. This is even Jungle Tiara, campaign grade. Couldn't get any better for her. This is almost a no joke chest piece with tier 1 flat and hybrid, and also tier 2 increase. That's no joke at all, especially if it has a third socket. The suffixes almost rolled well. I mean, I was definitely looking for dexterity intelligence, but not that kind of low rolls. Maybe life regen would have been better here, or some bleeding or poison, so I can avoid using those charms. but it is what it is. So okay, let me check. The rings are pretty tricky to get right, especially because they're trees, so you can like avoid getting certain things, especially suffixes and other kind of gear. Those are mine. Again, I will leave a link in the description so you can check it on PoE 2 Ninja. It's gonna be exactly what it is. I decided to use a skipter, so I could do custom critical. The sniper's mark, which is usually a Deadeye thing, but because of this unique spear having too much crit chance and not that much damage, I decided this is one of the ways I will be scaling damage, because it's critting a lot, as that's where the strength is coming from. I don't necessarily approve of this spear. While it is very strong, it is very easy to get, and very easy to get a strong character going because of how easy it is to get. And maybe with some fucking around you can even make it better, like get more critical hit chance and stuff like that. But anyway, I totally disapprove of this item being in the game in its current form. I'm just hoping it gets significantly nerfed into the ground, so those things don't really happen. Usually when GGG does buffs, it's because of content requiring it, and some mistakes like this could happen. We've seen it a bunch of times in PoE 1, and that's totally fine, but if they fix it on time and don't leave it as it is. I'm assuming because the game is also available on console, they didn't want to wait to recertify patches. They didn't want to piss off people like they did with those things, custom whatever with the energy thing. That people who like power creep and being too strong instead of actually playing the game might get really pissed really easy, really fast, to the point that they could even ditch the game, especially those who are new to it and don't know the background of GGG. So I would say this was a smart move from them, not nerfing this, but I would not expect this to happen much in the future, especially having in mind what I read on XCOM, that they are getting new QA members in their team, so they will have more people to play the game before stuff is released. So hopefully those idiocies don't happen much more. Anything else interesting here? It's a lightning spear, new skill, have to try it. Didn't like it much, like I said. I think it's too powerful, but I assume it's because of this unique here. So crafting a good spear, I've been trying for 5 months and I couldn't really get any good rare spear crafted, so I can try how does it feel without this broken unique here. So I can't really compare. Maybe those who managed could let me know in the comments. I would love to hear about that from them, because let's make one thing clear. I don't look up what the community is doing, and I don't necessarily care about that. Sometimes viewers do tell me about things that they're doing on their characters, on their builds. But if you are one of those viewers who wants to ruin my experience of discovery in the game, especially having in mind that's the only mode I play, hardcore solo, unless I want to like try out something really quick, I don't know, I wouldn't recommend you watching me at all, because there will be a conflict, I guarantee. Anyway, again, link in the description to PoE Ninja, where you can check the build in detail, what I did, and let me just explain what I'm basically doing while playing this character. I usually use it to clear maps which are not too dangerous, because it has many vulnerabilities like poison, bleeding, chaos damage and whatnot. It's not really a good bosser for me yet, at least not with this stupidity. I totally disapprove. But basically what I'm doing is, because the vault support is on this skill, Storm Lance, when I'm walking around, I'm Storm Lancing, so I can crowd control enemies, because lightning doesn't have crowd control, so it can electrocute them. And I do barrage, lightning spear, and when something is shocked, I'm using, what was it called? Primal strikes, I think. Yeah, Primal strikes. For the supports, you can, of course, check in the link in the description. But if there's a mana siphoner, I'm throwing spears like this, just the regular throw spear, or just the regular spear attack. That's it, basically. And it's also using the Herald of Thunder. I tried the Herald of Thunder actually on my Blood Mage before it died, with this similar setup like this one here, but with the crystals. The what was the ones which do corrupted blood? Was it not? There was something, some blood crystals or something, and making the herald being stronger, not allowing it to do elemental ailments, but doesn't mean it can't do those and bleed. So that was again very strong. Also looks like because of how this item works, we just equip it together with a bunch of spear skills, and the ascendancy doesn't really matter. And this is not healthy for the game, and I don't like it. Some would say probably it's too effective for too cheap, and I agree. And that's why I disapprove of such things, because they're not healthy for the game. And what would happen when those things actually get tuned properly, and those people who are not very good actually have to play the game? Think about that, right? That's not good. Okay, I don't think there's like anything else to add here, because pretty much it's using okay, blasphemy because enfeeble. I'm using enfeeble because I'm using a scepter, not a buckler or a shield to block. So I thought this could help me survive on hardcore solo. And basically the other stuff are like monk tools to survive, the ghost dance and the wind dancer. Basically that's it. Combat frenzy to get charges because they work well with the lightning spear, and basically that's it. Alright, let's move to the other one. I really liked it, and it's a PoE 1 classic. It's the Ice Shot Deadeye. So I don't know, if you didn't play Ice Shot in the first game, now's the time to play it even in this game. So basically what it's doing, it's freezing with Ice Shot, and it's doing with the salvo this thing, killing strike, and it's also performing the cold exposure, so those enemies with cold resistance are not a problem. Also it has acceleration and inevitable critical, because inevitable critical, while it's recharging, this thing, while it's recharging and could throw like more missiles, it's also charging the critable. Yeah, the critable, bro. What the fuck? I mean, it is also recharging the critical hit chance with inevitable critical, because the cold exposure is applied on critical hit. So that's how I deal with enemies with shields or enemies who have cold resistance. Doing maps with cold resistance is usually not very good with this character, but with this thing it's quite doable. Also Snipe, of course, to kill bosses. And on this setup, the only thing I would change is this pinpoint critical goes to fork. It's being swapped with fork, so my eye shot becomes a single target skill, and that's the change. Okay, you're boss ready. You just do that, and you're boss ready. Now you're multi-target. Simple as that. Nothing else. Nothing else is being changed, and because of this, I like this build in particular. And I would probably league start with this character class, like Deadeye, Ranger, and then Deadeye, because it's relatively easy to build. It only needs the unique Zealot bow. Let me go find it so I can show you what I mean. What is this?
Yes.
Probably when I did some maps, I just forgot to get rid of this loot. But yeah, whatever. I mean, I think I have this bow somewhere at the end where I keep some uniques, not in the unique tab, but okay, there it is. That's like the maximum you can get from this bow. Compared to the stupid bow I managed to craft, it is not so good. This needs Omen of Dextral Erasure to get rid of this attribute requirements, and it will be almost an incredible bow because of the tier 1 flat physical. And the increased physical damage, which is tier 3, that's like my minimum for top gear, I think. That was really hard to produce. But what I could be looking for is attack speed here, or +2 skills, something in those lines. Maybe instead of the elemental damage, I could take elemental damage but more, and that's basically it. I don't think it could be any better. Maybe like bow fire's additional arrow and then corrupt it to bow fire's additional arrow, or attack speed or something could definitely help a lot. But basically, all you need for this build, I think, is this bow to get it around level 30 something. It says it requires 39. So that's around the time you're in the Azak Bok while doing the campaign in Act 3. So that's relatively easy to get. Once you get this, you can get with it to like tier 10, tier 13 maps. Then you actually need to craft something. Defense wise, I picked Kamajan Tiara. This one is not so bad, very high tier. Actually, it could be a bit better, but just a bit. Of course, again, a sleek jacket because of the evasion and shield. That one turned out quite nicely. It's also with resistances, so that's pretty good. Helps for overcapping. Maybe this belt, maybe chevrons. Unfortunately, I'm like using CI, Chaos Inoculation, to just have energy shield and being immune to chaos, but the chevron belt, right, this one, which says that it should be healing energy shield, it doesn't seem to work. Okay, there's this one. Doesn't seem to work with this. I don't know why. It's just not healing the energy shield. Because what does it exactly say, right? Life recovery from flask also applies to energy shield. My ass, probably it's broken. It doesn't work. It doesn't. I don't know why. So anyway, unset rings. Of course, that's for me at least the best ring, so I can get the Mage defensive tools to survive, like the Wind Dancer and the Ghost Dance, and also to get charge propulsion. That's actually why I have another unset, so I can get additional attack speed, and I'm doing this buffing my DPS. And of course, Herald of Ice, because come on, it's cold damage. Physical converted to cold, hence the physical prefixes on the bow are required. So you can actually do more. If it's cold damage, it's not that good. Because the skill has nothing to convert, as we can see here, converting physical damage to cold damage. So, and it will be better to be like this if you have leech, so some of the damage is actually physical, so you can actually leech, and you can leech even more with the freezing mark. That's a must to spam before attacking. I also have here the, where is it, single out. Marked by supported skill enemies have their armor broken. So I am marking, shooting with this, sometimes with the barrage, and when the enemy gets frozen, I snipe it because it always crits, and also I deal more damage to frozen enemies because of this thin ice thing, right? I was just wishing there's a way. This is level 96. You can't see it here, but my XP bar is right here somewhere, so it's almost 97. So that's like 3 more points left. I was hoping somehow I could get to these notes here with the cold damage, extra damage as fire, maybe even use another jewel, but that seems to be quite impossible without certain conditions being met. Maybe I could like reduce this energy shield and try to get it to be more offensive, or instead I could do like extra damage or those critical things, but I'm not focusing on critical because the way I'm focusing to do damage is not focus on critical, just the regular hit, so I can freeze more and then snipe because it always crits. I don't think I need to crit when I have a skill which always crits. That sounds kinda pointless to me. Unless I wanna get those buffs here, which give me more damage when I do critical. So, and these too, instead of that much defense. But I guess that's a softcore luxury I cannot afford myself to do, because I respect my time and what I do, and I wouldn't throw a character to do something that it's not ready for, unless I'm like too drunk, too high, or too stupid, which you don't see me be, I guess. Uh, okay, again, like I said, for the other characters, there will be a link in description where you can check on PoE 2 Ninja exactly all the gems, supports, and whatnot. But I think this is a really good mapper, really easy to build around. These skills in particular, I think they're combining quite well. And of course, when there's the mana siphoner, I use the regular bow attack to pin the enemy, move away, and get back to using my old skills, because that's what it has here. Pin and lock down, so when I get close to the mana siphoner, the closer I am, the more pin. So I pin it and jump out with escape shot, which sometimes throws me into more danger than I originally were, but that's fine, I guess. So yeah, that's what I'm using the character for. Basically, I like doing maps with it. It's doing quite well, especially it being immune to chaos. This means you don't have to focus on chaos resistance being one of the suffixes on your gear, so you can get more resistances on your gear, and you're immune to chaos, immune to bleeding, and it's really easy to overcap resistances that way, so you can do elemental weakness map. Um, it doesn't have any problems with enfeeble, none that I noticed. It's reducing the damage, but not much because of this note here, reduced effect of curses on you. And also no problems with temporal chains because of this, where was it? Yeah, reduce slowing potency. If, for example, the prefixes of the waystone are like too good, and worth running temporal chains, but you don't like it, there's more ways to mitigate it. Like this one, for example, unhindered. That's very close to those nodes that I picked. And you can sacrifice something like, I don't know, maybe some evasion, which is usually not a good idea, or just a little bit of damage to be able to get this. You can also get like reduce slowing potency corrupt on boots, which I don't have here. Those are not that good. Not bad, but for solo mode they're okay-ish. Just the prefixes are kinda not the best ones. Like, the increase is not much. The flat could be more, the speed could be more, and they were not good enough. I didn't have a backup to corrupt them. But one of the corrupt outcomes is reduce slowing potency, and that's actually pretty good. Also in the campaigns, so those people who I read on the forums that many people complain about the curses and temporal chains in particular. I don't know what to say. If you don't like it, you just disenchant the waystone or sell it to the vendor, or if you're on trade league, just sell it to someone who is willing to give you money to run the prefixes, which are like too good. And anyway, I mean, you get the idea, right? So that's my character here, the Deadeye, which I especially like a lot in particular. And this should be one of my favorites, right? But unfortunately, not that much. Let's get to this Chaos Damage Over Time Lich. I've been talking about it before because this was like one of my first characters during this league. And with this character, I managed to rank the highest within the class because, let's make this clear, I have the time to do it, first things first. And in PoE 1, the Chaos Damage Over Time Occultist was one of my favorite things to play. It wasn't very strong, I know, there was always like something way better, but I don't care. I have my reasons to like it, and it's not necessary to, I don't know, explicitly share them all the time or every time, but if you ask around, you might find out why. Anyway, I made when I achieved this to be the highest Lich. When was it? Like 2 months ago, the highest ranked Lich, or maybe one. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. But anyway, when I ranked on top of all the other players within the class, I made a video discussing in particular what are the problems of this ascendancy in its current state in the game. So it's like, I don't know, 18-20 minutes video. You might want to check that out if you want to know what I think about this class in particular. I don't feel like repeating myself, and maybe if I do, this is gonna be a very, very long video that probably nobody would want to watch. Anyway, so I would say I'm currently using this character for clearing certain things like bosses and also logbooks. I don't use it for maps anymore because the Deadeye is much more comfortable to play with for maps. But unless like the waystones are like too crazy or not that much against this character, I could use it to do that as well. It's using Chaos Bolt to apply Withered with the Withered wand. I couldn't craft a good one this league, so hopefully next league that actually happens. I've seen many plus to 5 ones, but the other affixes weren't like that good, so I can maybe corrupt it or use it instead of this one, so it could feel like an actual upgrade. Didn't manage to get a plus 5 to skill 1 to be an upgrade to this one. The damage was less, the speed was less, and so on and so forth. So that's what I did. Anyway, I'm using Chaos Bolt to apply Withered on already Chaos Dot affected enemies, so they can start immediately taking more damage. We don't care about the Chaos Bolt's damage, we only care about it applying Withered. Skeletons to block, and the more I have, the more chaos damage I get from the unique scepter. Again, I couldn't craft anything better, been trying, but that was not possible. Of course, the Sigil of Power with the staff to do it. Unfortunately, didn't roll much cast speed, couldn't get any better, but plus 6 to all spell skills. That's no joke for the Sigil, right? Of course, the Essence Drain, Contagion, and the Dark Effigy, which I didn't necessarily like, for example, because in the first game you use the totem to apply Withered, not to do damage. But anyway, the Despair Curse being cast manually, Offering to do more damage. While the character is not bossing, I'm actually using something else because there's no fucking Void Sphere. Like, come on, there's no Chaos crowd control skill in the game, and that's kinda sad. I'm using the Frost Wall for this instead of the Offering, with these supports in particular, so it helps me with crowd control and gives me mana regen. Okay, here are the supports. Again, I will leave the link in the description so you can check what this character exactly has, like the tree and everything. But because this probably won't be there because it's like a current snapshot of the character, let me show you what I'm using. Deep Freeze of this one. How is it? Calciation. Okay, Calciation, Glacier, Fount of Mana, and Frost Nexus. Those are the supports I'm using with the Frost Wall. So, like, I don't know, help them with crowd control, like block enemies, block projectiles, create corridors so I could do something like this and go behind the skeletons and stuff like that. How I would usually use this character is do Contagion, do the Totem, Curse, and then also start shooting Essence Drain and the Chaos Bolt. Basically, that's it. Okay, it's also using Unearth when there are corpses. I use that to buff my damage because of the Scepter, gain damage as chaos damage per undead minion. The problem with gain is it doesn't work with damage over time, but it works for the totem and the projectiles they're shooting, the totems. And for the hit of the Essence Drain projectile, I don't really care about its damage for this thing, the Chaos Bolt. That's not a big deal. But it's conserving corpses, so the Contagion could do... what was it called? Wait. No, Chaotic Freeze, Profanity. Chaotic Freeze. I was talking about Void Sphere, because Chaotic Freeze, that's not good enough crowd control, even with shitload of freeze buildup. And why the fuck, GGG, do you add critical to the damage over time wand instead of freeze buildup? I don't get it. Maybe I'm stupid or something, I don't know. Anyway, what else I'm using? This is Blasphemy. to do temporal chains, or if the map has like a bunch of offensive suffixes like extra damage and whatnot, just socket enfeeble there instead, so you take less damage. Although the skeletons usually take the damage, not you. And you can get ridiculously high energy shield on this ascendancy because of the notes it has, the ascendancy notes it has like, come on, this is energy shield, this is energy shield, this is energy shield. You get the idea. You can also spec to the self-damage thing while bossing. That's pretty good if you have like shitload of energy shield recharge. And how you get that shitload of energy shield recharge usually is by just having more energy shield, not by investing in energy shield recharge. It's just like mana. Unless you use this, like soulless form, for the mana, I mean, not for the energy shield. But anyway, I don't think there's much more to add here. I use Convalescence when I'm in danger, Withering Presence to stack Withered, so the enemies could take more damage. And also, like I previously mentioned, the Withered one also helps a lot with this. With Withering Presence together, they're immediately scaling to the maximum Withered stacks, which is pretty good, but not good enough as Withering Step. I've been talking about it in the video I mentioned before, so you might want to check that one out too. I don't know, there's not much more to add here. I wanted to play other things, but there was simply no time, or I was trying to get better gear for things I want to play, but that didn't happen. Anyway, I think this video is getting too long now. Those are the builds I've been playing throughout Dawn of the Hunt. And I hope you enjoyed this one. You can browse my channel to see some of the things I did with those characters, or you can tune in on one of the live streams and check out what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Hopefully, if you know something more than me, you don't tell me like what it is, because I like the process of discovery. And hope you don't ruin my game experience by sharing, okay, this is too good, try it. Come on, bro. Would you like this to be done to you? Probably not. Anyway, that's it for now. Again, hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below, if you managed to make it this far in the video. I know it's too long, but anyway, that's all. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.